Hey y'all, it's Katie and welcome back to my channel. Today we are back at my local gym to start episode 2 of our series on DEKA Zones, breaking those down and talking about the strategies behind each of them. So let's get to it. So today we're going to be looking at 2 zones specifically. If you don't know what DEKA is yet, or you want a broad overview of all the events in the zones, then go ahead and check out this video. But so far in our series on strategy and breakdown of the zones, we've already covered zone 1 and 2 in a previous video, but today we're going to be focusing on zone 3, the box step or jump over, and zone 4, the med ball sit up. Diving right in, the things you need to know about the box is that it'll be a 24-inch standard no matter your height or whether you're male or female. And you complete 20 full reps here, making sure that both feet touch the top of the box and then down on the floor by the side of the box. But your feet don't have to touch at the same time, meaning that you can do a skip step, and that's totally legal. I just finished filming and realized I forgot one thing about the box. You can't use your hands for mechanical advantage. And basically all that means is that if you're using your hands to help you go faster, that's not okay. If you physically cannot get on the box without touching your knee or touching the surface of the box, that's okay. You can use your hands if it's not specifically to make you go faster or have that mechanical advantage in some way. So you can choose to just step up onto the box, or you can choose to actually jump onto the box if you want to, but some more common steps here are the lateral step up or a lateral step up with a karaoke. That's my personal favorite. You can do a front step up, you can even add a fancy turn on the way down, or you can jump and step down, or jump and then jump down off the box. So there's a million and one ways to get up and over the box with a jump, a step, or a combination. But I would keep in mind that this is only the 3rd element out of the gate. So we still have 7 more zones after this. So if you spend a lot of energy jumping onto the box and jumping off of the box and using your muscles to really catch that landing, that could be a lot of explosive energy wasted at the beginning of your race that you could put towards those last 4 elements that are really challenging. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. So strategy aside, if you are a beginner and you're brand new to the box, this height can seem pretty intimidating at first. So let's be real here, this box can be a big challenge for a lot of different people. Whether you're short and so that box is a good portion of your height, or maybe you're lacking in strength or mobility in the lower body. So practicing with the box on a lower setting and building up to that 24-inch height, or practicing some mobility drills for the lower body and the hips will especially come in key with this movement so that you can get over the box with confidence. And now we're back to strategy. And like I said earlier, this one is all about movement efficiency and rhythm. We don't want to waste too much energy here, so by increasing our movement efficiency and by finding a good constant rhythm that we can stick to while we're doing this move is going to help us save energy down the line with our other zones. So all you need to do is find a consistent jump or step and then find a good tempo that you can stick with and maintain throughout the 20 reps. Go ahead and let me know what your favorite strategy is to get over the box. Next up is the med ball sit up. This is one of the 2 unique zones in DEKA that's going to change based on which event that you're doing. If you're at an affiliate gym doing the DEKA Strong or the DEKA Mile, then you'll see the standard med ball sit up that I'll show you here today. But if you're doing a DEKA Fit event, then you'll see this zone is a little bit different. So let's break down the rules for each and then talk strategy. So across the board, there are 3 rules that apply to both types of sit-ups we'll see today. First is equipment. We're going to be using larger slam balls, and females use a 14-pound, males use a 20-pound. There's 25 total reps, and each rep will begin with the ball overhead. The torso has to come off the floor at least 45 degrees every rep. So let's look at how these 2 sit-ups differ. For the mile and the strong, you'll have just the mat and then the slam ball. The first rep starts overhead, and then you finish each rep by tapping the ball between the feet on the floor. So this one is pretty simple. You tap the floor above the head, you tap the floor between the feet, bada bing, bada boom. For the fit, this one's a little bit different. It's a med ball sit up with a throw or a touch. So I don't have the exact equipment here, but I'll include a picture. And basically what you'll do for the sit up throw is you'll tuck your toes underneath a bar at the station, and then 4.5 feet off the ground is a target that's a circular disc, and basically you throw or you tap the ball to the surface or the face of that target. Every time the ball touches the face of the target, it counts as a full rep. If you accidentally hit the edge of the target, it does not count as a rep, so you have to make sure you hit the face every single time. So if you have a longer torso and longer arms, you might actually be able to reach up and just tap the face of the target with the ball without actually throwing it, but if you're shorter, you'll probably have to throw the ball here. But you do get a little advantage with the DEKA Fit because you get to tuck your toes under that bar, and that helps you with your sit-ups just a little bit. So now that we know the difference between those 2 sit-ups, let's talk strategy and how we can improve the sit-up. So the focus of this zone is, you guessed it, movement efficiency. That's gonna be a super common thread throughout the first few zones if you can't tell already. So talking about body position, let's make sure those feet are wide so that you have clearance for the ball so it taps down between the feet without any problems. Then, just like I mentioned in the rules, starting with the ball overhead is going to save you a little bit of energy on that very first rep, and it'll save you maybe a second or two if we're talking about time efficiency here. And thinking back to those basic rules here, the torso only has to come up 45 degrees. If you're coming up a full 90 degrees with every single rep, that's a whole extra 45 degrees you didn't have to do. So that's gonna be some extra time and energy wasted with that extra movement. And for efficiency, if we bring the heels in closer to the butt and bend the elbows some, that's gonna make sure that we shorten our levers here and keep that weight closer to our center of mass, which will help us move faster. And one common technique I've seen a whole lot of people do here is the hip bridge, where they'll bridge their hips as the ball comes overhead and then drive the hips down to help them pull the ball back up between the feet. And I've tried this one out, but I haven't spent a whole lot of time practicing it myself, so I can see how it would work for some people, but I personally don't use it in my events. So I prefer to keep my hips on the floor and use the ball to create a little momentum here. I'll usually kick my heels into the floor to drive the ball overhead and then bounce that ball against the floor as hard as I can so that I can catch the rebound and then create forward momentum into the next sit-up. And that setup works really well in the DEKA Strong and DEKA Mile events where you're on the floor with the ball, but in the DEKA Fit, it doesn't work so well. So that's where you would really work on those toes, tucking in and using those legs to help you pull back up into your setup and then be able to throw the ball. But those are just a couple ways to do med ball sit-ups. If you have any other ways that I didn't mention, go ahead and shoot those down in the comments below and let me know what your favorite type of med ball sit-up is. Otherwise, that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for staying to the end of my video. It really helps my channel with the algorithm when you do that, as well as liking and subscribing. And that'll help you stay up to date as well for my next video on DEKA Zones 5 and 6. So stay tuned for more DEKA Zone strategies. I'll see you guys later. Stay healthy. Bye.